But I have been a little bit discouraged. The choice has been mostly taken away from women over the past couple of years, is that they have to stop comparing themselves to other people. Because I actually don't think that being a more traditional woman looks a certain way. I look a little bit disheveled and I am getting over a cold, but when the burst of energy to film comes up and I've already rested during my baby's nap, I woke up myself from a nap and he's still napping, I must seize the opportunity to make a video. So now that you understand the context, let's jump right into it. It has been a while since I have made a traditional woman or homemaking content style video. I feel as though I have too much to say, but I have gone through so many life changes. I'm also currently pregnant, that when you put out a bold piece of content, often surrounding these topics, there is some pushback, and even if you are a person who doesn't like to engage in internet fighting, it is going to affect you in a certain way. And I'm not going to dive too deep into what I have to say, but I have been a little bit discouraged on what I've seen some people say when it comes to being a traditional woman in this sphere, associating it to hate groups, basically claiming that I and other people want to bring women back to the 1950s and that we believe it is the only way to be a feminine woman, which is absolutely not true. Being a traditional woman, I have to clarify, is for all cultures, is for all women who want to participate. Means simply that you look at the past and how other women have lived and you analyze what has worked and what should be preserved. It is about not completely rejecting the past, but understanding that we have things to learn from other women that have come before us, and that throwing it all away doesn't always yield the most success. And I talk about femininity and homemaking on this channel, not because I think that you have to be a stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom, or have a mostly home-centered life in order to be a feminine woman. It isn't about fitting in a certain type of mold. But what I have noticed is that traditionally, many women find feminine freedom and they feel most at ease when they are pouring into their homemaking, when they feel supported in doing so, when they are doing so out of their own choice. And sadly, many women don't have that choice anymore. If anything, I feel as though the choice has been mostly taken away from women over the past couple of years due to the cost of living, due to the fact that there are many societal pressures to be a boss babe. I'm not going to go too much off on a tangent, because if you're a longtime subscriber to this channel, you know I try to make my videos short and sweet since I am a mother, but this channel is about empowering women to find the feminine path that best suits them, which often is something that isn't necessarily the societal norm. Alright, so I'm sorry if this part feels like I'm jumping back in, because I am jumping back in since my baby needed a little bit of support getting back to sleep. Like I said, definitely in mom mode today, but the video must go on. So the point with what I was saying was that I do want to create an environment where women have the resources to live out the lifestyle that they want in this more traditionally feminine way. And if you're here and that doesn't really adhere to you, you have a totally different lifestyle, doesn't mean that you are not welcome. I have so much femininity content that would apply to many different types of women in different life paths. So I encourage you to check out my femininity playlist, and I would also love it if you would hit the subscribe button and the like video on any video that you enjoy. If you are somebody who lives a home-centered lifestyle, I would also love to hear your feedback in the comments section. What do you do to be able to afford it, especially nowadays in this economy that is very burdensome and strugglesome? That's probably not a word. The first thing I want to say is that you'll see this overarching theme that many women are talking about, finding a masculine husband in order to afford this lifestyle. Now, of course, you shouldn't just marry somebody based on what they can provide to you. You know, they should probably be the love of your life. I definitely believe in marrying for love, and I do not condone content that encourages women to basically just marry somebody based on their wallet. But I've made videos before about masculinity, and searching for a masculine husband is somebody who is going to help you achieve your dreams as well. For my husband, he proposed to me, I believe, and I met him when I was supposed to be a medical doctor. I was supposed to go to med school, but I changed my life path and I evolved as a person to want something totally different. And he was on board with that because he wanted to make my dreams a reality. And it has nothing to do with the amount of money that a man makes when you meet him. He can be somebody who doesn't make a lot of money, but if he has that provider mentality, reality. Those are some of the characteristics of a masculine man. And people do get really sensitive when you talk about masculinity in terms of staying home because they think that it is an oppressive thing, but it truly isn't. If anything, I have found it is more of a freeing thing to be with a man who embraces my dreams. He lets me embrace my femininity, which truly is freedom in a way. A masculine man is going to pull up his boots and do what it takes to help you. This doesn't mean a lavish lifestyle necessarily, again, going back to what I was saying, but this simply means letting you embrace who you are and what you want to do. So anyway, down more into the nitty-gritty. The first thing that I have noticed many women must do if they want to have a home-centered lifestyle, be a homemaker, stay-at-home wife, is that they have to stop comparing themselves to other people. Your financial goals, your milestones of what you are going to do, your housing situation is going to look totally different. Even down to the food that you eat is not necessarily going to be the same. This doesn't mean that you're not going to have any type of little luxury or able to afford anything nice. You could be in a high tax bracket living this lifestyle. You still will not necessarily have the same exact lifestyle as a dual income household within that same profession, for example. So letting go of comparison and really working on any type of inner jealousy that you have is the first step that I think you need to take if you want to embrace this lifestyle and make it a reality for yourself. And under the umbrella of once you've tackled that, every financial decision that you're going to make is probably going to deal with flexibility and creativity, down to the points that you use at the grocery store, where you shop, the types of things that you reuse. Flexibility and creativity are the two words that you have to keep in mind. This is where, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I would love your help in the comment section down below to give more specifics on what you do with regards to flexibility and creativity to be able to afford this lifestyle. I have found that it has been so helpful as a person, because this is something that my mother did, was to always live consistently the same way. So you might be in a season of life where your husband gets a promotion, for example, or your side hustle takes off. Trying to remain the same is also going to help you stay humbled and enjoy a slower pace of life. It is very glamorized on TikTok, for example, that being a full-time homemaker looks a particular way. She shops at a particular spot, that she does something, that she wears certain clothing. But if you're always continuously chasing trends or trying to keep up as you earn more money, for example, it is going to detract from the beauty of actually living this lifestyle, because you're going to step into more hustle mode that is what you were trying to escape in the first place. And again, there are more particulars that I could get into. That is not necessarily the purpose of this video, but I encourage you to have an open mindset and to listen to other people that have suggestions that have gone before you, and look at what you already have. I've mentioned in the past that we in another home have made renovations to improve the rentability of our basement if we were to get to that point, or to increase the value. Also, I have used my education to be a tutor, which honestly could have thrived into a very successful business for myself, but I limited it to what I felt comfortable with doing and balancing all my priorities. But you might have more skills innately than you could have ever imagined. And another reason why I call it a home-centered lifestyle rather than specifically stay-at-home mom or housewife or stay-at-home wife is because I actually don't think that being a more traditional woman looks a certain way. There are many women who go to school part-time, they work part-time, they have small businesses. These are actually very traditional things that women have been doing for centuries. Going back to the concept of flexibility and creativity, we are aiming to pour back into our families. We are aiming to be mostly at home, and so we are doing what we have to do in order to make that a reality. We are trying to maximize what we have in order to make that a reality, whichever way that looks for you. If you are able to do it resourcefully, or you are able to do it based on the skills that you have. I'm going to leave the video there. It might have been a little bit all over the place, but I would really appreciate your comments down below with more specifics. We can continue to have the conversation going. Like I've mentioned countless times, this channel truly is for you, to help you make your feminine and homemaking dreams a reality. We are all here together as sisters, supporting each other. As cheesy as that sounds, it is actually true. I do care so much for all of you and your dreams and what you are looking for in life. Bye-bye.